Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another week, another Tuesday here on Horde of Tales for our adventures in the Convergence Manifesto. I am here with four fantastic people, and I am here to say good evening to all of you and to my fellow players. How is everyone tonight?
Keeping warm?
Doing great.
It's good. Good to have you back with us, Austin. Happy to see you back here.
Hello. It's good to be back.
It's been a while. We've missed you.
I've missed being here. It's been weird. And I mean, it's been weird not being here, and just in general, it's been weird.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear you're doing better, though.
Yes,
Exactly.
Hopefully, up and up.
Exactly. It's good. Anything else exciting going on right now? Anything you'd like to share before we go into a situation most dangerous for our party?
Danger?
I think everything is normal.
Thank you, Caro, for changing my Twitter handle name.
Oh yeah,
Right,
welcome.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitter
Yeah.
handle name is updated for Ida to _the_pan.
There we go. Yeah. I was talking to
uh,
I made a lot of friends with the ladies of D&D and the other community, and I really don't interact with the Dutch community at all. And it was hard to explain what a panache was and how to pronounce it. So I was like, drop it. It's not really part of who I am identity-wise or interacting community-wise. So like, no. Although I'm regretting not maybe taking the name like Empanada. I think empanada suits me way better. But we'll stick here. Otherwise, I'm changing the stupid layout too often.
Wasn't it something to eat?
An empanada is like there's a Latin American or Hispanic culture like a embedded delicious thing. And I thought
Very good.
Okay, it's
empanada
something to
was-
eat.
Yes.
Yes, it's food. It's food.
It's very good food.
Food is always good.
If you're ever in my neighborhood, I will make you all the empanadas.
Empanadas from Empanada.
But I'm in the
All
pan
right.
today. For now.
And in the pan, exactly. Don't get confused. I'm already getting hungry from these talks. So before my
Yeah,
belly
guys, come on.
before our bellies start rumbling, why not let's slowly ease into it? But before we get into today's game, just the typical announcements at the start of the game. As you might have noticed, you are on the Twitch channel of Horde of Tales, where today we're playing the next session in the Convergence Manifesto adventure series, which are written by the Across Eberron project. We are currently in the second adventure, Live Another Day, of this adventure series. And if you like what you're seeing here and you want to run it yourself, check out acrosseberron.com, where you can find all the information about the adventures. I bet they would be happy to see you there. We're also playing on Astral Virtual Tabletop, and any kind of battle maps we might encounter this session, there's just a slight chance there is a battle map coming up, were made in Dungeon Draft, which is a pretty neat tool to make your own dungeon maps in. You can also check that out. And the overlay you see here, visuals are made by Caro, and the artwork for the characters is a team effort of Serial and Caro, which look amazing and bring alive our illustrious and colorful band of heroes. Well, heroes, adventurers. With that being said,
Heroes.
let's, how about we roll the opening and get ready for tonight's session. See you back in a moment. And we're going to dive right into it with a quick recap of last session. When last we left our adventurers, we witnessed our illustrious band of Rebus, Rain, and Delphine venturing through the Graywall Mountains, following a map to find the mysterious Shining Valley to charge a magical gem in a hidden valley. The trio overcame the dangers of the mountains and very harsh weather, surviving in a improvised but sturdy shelter where the three of them also had a good heart-to-heart conversation and waited out the weather. Once the weather died down, they continued their search, and they did find a crevice in the mountains leading into some tunnels. Following these dark and dank tunnels, water dripping from the ceilings around them, they came upon the corpse of a hobgoblin covered in acid burns and other nastiness. While Rebus and Delphine checked the body, both for different purposes, Rain stood watch, but did not notice a slimy intruder creeping up on her legs. And that's where we ended last session. And we are going to start today's session by me putting you over to another map.
Wow.
And I'm just going to put y'all into some places. Doop, doop. So we have the three of you there. And also, there's something nasty coming up there. And
Gray ooze. Love it.
I would like to have, first of all, everyone except Daithun to roll initiative at this point.
Fuck. Here we go. Come on, you dice. Do your thing.
16 for Rebus.
I need to send that back.
17 for Rain.
All right, all right. So 17 for Rain,
Yes.
and there was a 16 for Rebus,
Yes.
and Delphine, what did you get?
7.
A
Refund!
7. All right. So, going first is the gray ooze that
I'll just remind you
Rain.
that my character cannot be surprised while conscious, and
Yeah.
attacks against me do not get advantage because of being unseen. I'll let you know.
Good to know. Thanks for the reminder. It's good to have that. Good to have that feat. Rain, you do notice this strange, oily, gray-looking slime that is winding close to your feet. Its pseudopods reaching up to you, and it seems to be attracted by your organic matter.
Not my lovely personality?
Maybe, depending on how this fight develops, it might be attracted by that, but for now, it decides that it longs for your organic matter and is going to launch an attack with one of its pseudopods against you. But that's a total of 7, so I assume that does not hit.
Almost, but no.
It seems to, like, you draw your leg back at the right moment so that the pod does not hit you. And you just hear the gray ooze go blubber around you, which does end its turn and brings us directly to you, Rain.
I look down at it, horrified. Let's see. I look at everything. Range.
It's always good to start looking down at it horrified. That's a good start.
Like, that is not your leg. You know which leg you were crawling up? My leg. How dare you? I've never seen this kind of ooze. I don't gather what it's anything about it, I guess.
No, these kind of ooze would not be familiar to you.
Gotcha. And it's right on me, so it's in
Yeah.
melee range.
It's
Wow.
absolutely in melee range.
Okay, I'm going to go around it kind of this way
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just going to, if I see its kind of ugly tentacle pseudopod thing kind of envelop me, I'm like, let me show you how it's done. And I will cast in that spot Arms of Hadar.
Arms of Hadar.
And you see Rain's like dark hair, like it almost resembles kind of these curled seaweed, just kind of float and stretch up as you see other similar kind of inky, shadowy seaweed tendrils float up from the ground and start like swinging at this ooze. So it must make a strength saving throw, all creatures within 10 feet. And there are no other creatures except this gray ooze, as far as I know, within 10 feet.
All right, strength saving throw.
Yes, the DC is 13.
Yeah. Let's start strength. Yeah, that's a total of 3. No, that doesn't make it. But there's something else that has to make a strength saving throw.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Ooh. So, Rain, as your hair goes up in this tendril-esque movements, you do see the gray ooze in front of you is fully affected by your by these eldritch powers that you invoke. Could you roll me the damage for that?
That's going to be a 2d6 necrotic damage.
Necrotic.
Interesting.
That'll be a total of 8 necrotic damage. And it cannot take reactions until its next turn.
And it cannot take reactions until its next turn. Nasty. You do also notice that your magic is reaching out to a form behind you that you weren't aware of until this point. As it droops down from the ceiling behind you is this yellowish slime that coalesces on the floor behind you, agonized. Well, at least its attention drawn by your magics. And popping up right behind you is this massive yellow form that makes it saving throw, but I think that means that it still takes half damage.
Correct. That was an
'Cause
8.
4 points of damage.
So 4.
4 points of damage.
So, okay, so it succeeded. So it still has its reactions and shit. Crap.
Exactly.
I was gonna saunter away, but fuck. No.
Anything else you would like to do?
Fuck it. I'm gonna move anyway. The gray ooze should not be able to, but I guess this bigger sunny thing. I'm just going to look at it like, and turn around and walk away. Can I stand here?
Sure, you can, but
And
it's
I
gonna
guess-
try lashing out with one of its own yellowish pseudopods. Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it does.
You do take 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. You sound like you're not done.
And 6 points of acid damage.
Okay, ow. Noted.
All right, that's your turn?
I try to walk like gracefully in control, but just get the back of my back completely battered and whipped as I just kind of look back angrily. That's my turn.
All right. Rebus, you're up. You hear, Rebus, you at this point would have heard, like, there was movement behind you, there were sounds behind you, invocations being spoken, and you heard this wet, flopping sound of something just slapping against rain. You are fully aware that something has been happening here. What would you like to do?
I'll turn around and say, well, that sounded delightful. And seeing what's happening. And do I know of these creatures? Have I seen anything like this before?
you would know that there are these ooze type of creatures which do like these kind of wet, dark environments. And you would know that there's actually some kind of oozes, some types of these oozes are kept by professional ooze tamers for cleaning purposes. And
Makes sense.
but out in the wild, they are usually scavengers and carrion eaters who live and prey on other organic matter and can be highly dangerous. They're usually not the fastest creatures, but they can be very dangerous.
Right. I would know they're not. You can't really reason with them, right?
They are not. You can't discuss with them. You can't argue with them. You could try intimidating them, like they have like most kind of animals. If you would try to intimidate them, they might consider you too dangerous to deal with. But there's no kind of reasoning with them.
Okay. Yeah, then I will turn around in a swift move, grab my glaive, and looking at Delphine, who's still behind me, and looking at Rain, who's at the other side, say, better stay back. These are very dangerous for you organics, although acid is probably dangerous to all of us. And then I would like to rage. So my system goes into combat mode, and the same transformation kind of happens. The different layers of metal and wood on my body start to shift and make a bulkier armor kind of type. And the visor reduces and becomes this like red triangle on my face. And a new change happens. Suddenly, Delphine, you would see this because I'm facing my back towards you. You would see that along the spinal column, an opening forms, and then vertebra-looking plates of iron start closing along it, as a long cable-looking, like stretchy and rubbery tail essentially emerges from my back and gets covered in these metallic plates. And I take the form of the beast, the tail.
All right.
So I have a long tail coming from more or less the middle of my back, not exactly where a tail would be, but it just whips around me, and it has a long obsidian-looking spike at the end.
Nice.
And I would like to attack. Let's see, I'll go over there. If you could move me, DM, I'll go next to the, like within 5 feet of the great ooze, and I will use my glaive against it.
Make an attack roll, you tailed warforged.
24.
Is that a natural 20?
Does that hit?
Is
No,
it a
it's a
natural
19.
20? A 19.
Which I don't think the glaive.
No,
I don't think the
says
glaive has like 19, 20. Yeah.
A 24 hits easily, yeah?
Let's do damage.
Damage.
I can't see. I was really sad. I rolled a 1 on a d10. So it's since I'm raging, I get +2 damage. So it's a 6.
6 points of damage. Nice. As you move over, your tail waving behind you and bringing down your glaive, your glaive digs into the oozing matter, and where it cuts through the ooze, you see chunks of its blubbery form falling off, and where they hit the rock next to it, they make this slight sizzling sound as their acid burns into the rocks around them, and the ooze just quivers in front of you.
Yeah, you can see that Revis is holding, like, I am holding a position that is not as human looking as other times, where they look more like a dancer, but this time is similar to kind of a raptor beast, because the tail helps them have the balance in a different way. So they're closer
Nice.
to the ground. And
Nice.
that's all I do for now.
Perfect. With Reba's turn up, Delphine, it's your turn.
Well, this is a very slimy thing. If
Mhm.
I would be able to push this gray ooze 10 feet back, would it hit into the wall?
It probably would, yeah.
Okay, then I'm taking then I'm casting my channel Divinity Fury of the Tides, which allows me
Okay.
when I hit a creature or a target with a weapon attack, it's pushed 10 feet away and takes additional bludgeoning damage equal to my charisma modifier. So I'm taking my pistol
Mm-hmm.
and try to shoot at it, and hopefully it will hit.
All right. I would say, however, if you're trying to fire from there with Rebus, where they are right now, Rebus would provide cover to the ooze, so it would
Okay.
increase its armor class.
Okay, so
All right.
fingers crossed. Hopefully.
Chance.
What is this? Brain stopped working. A 19.
19 certainly hits, and you fire the gun. What does it look like when you shoot and channel your Fury of the Tides?
Okay. So it's for everyone who sees it, it seems like if the water of the surroundings is drawn towards Delphine, like circling around her until it channels into her pistol, and then you see this blow coming out from the bullet, followed with the water behind it, and then as it hits the target, it's completely splashes over it and pushes it away.
Nice. All right, that blasts in there, that power of the tides. Could you roll damage for your attack?
Sure. Okay, this is good. I'm taking this one.
Please roll better than I did.
This is good. So that's it should be piercing. Yeah, it's 11 piercing damage
Nice.
plus 2 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, because it's pushed back against the wall.
Yeah.
And as your tide-powered bullet flies by Rebus and into the ooze, the force of the tide has the bullet dig deep into the gelatinous form. And as it's being flung back and into the wall, it just splashes all over the wall. Its little parts dissolving, and the ooze no longer a concern to you.
Thank God.
I like to imagine that Rain was just kind of standing there glaring at the big jelly as the smaller ooze just goes whoosh right past her. She doesn't even turn her head to look.
So need to cross.
Which does,
Okay.
is there anything else you would like to do in your turn?
explosions?
That is my turn for this.
That is your turn, all right. That is also the end of the round. But at the top of the round, a few things do happen. First of all, with the gunshot echoing through the tunnels, one of the ooze now being torn apart by the shot.
Oops.
Delphine, you would be the first one to see this. With your shot, you drew the attention of another ooze that drops down from the ceiling behind Rebus and right in front of you. However, Rain,
Yeah.
you hear footsteps behind you. And you do notice, as you look over your shoulder, a very familiar looking Leonin who is approaching you here. And at this point, Daithun, I would like you to roll initiative as well.
Ooh, I can do that.
And I'm also going to roll some initiative for
It's a 5.
a 5.
I'm not
That
less.
seems appropriate. I mean, I wasn't a part of this fight. That feels appropriate.
Well, if it is any comfort to you, the total of the ooze I just added is also a 5, and I'm assuming your dexterity is higher as that of an ooze.
I mean, unless it has a negative modifier.
It does certainly have a negative modifier.
Okay, then yeah.
I also
That's-
have to.
yes.
I also have to roll initiative for the big ooze. Yeah, I think I also have to send back a few dice. That is.
Nah, keep them.
No, oh yeah, of course. That's what you would say, right? Yeah, keep them. All right, cool. Top of the round in this case, with the first ooze gone. Rain, you are on top of the round, seeing Daithun approaching behind you.
That's a sight for sore eyes. We'll catch up later. I turn around and I look at the giant who's like very annoyed that it dare touch me. So I'm just going to stare at it, and with my hair still kind of Ghibli style blowing up, I am going to cast Mind Sliver at it. And I
Mind
would like
Sliver.
it to make an intelligence saving throw.
An intelligence saving throw for the ooze.
Dude.
Please don't be smart.
Unfortunately, that one went to college.
I think a total of 4 will not make the save.
Okay, so it's going to take, it does not make the save, thankfully. It'll take a total of 6 psychic damage.
6.
And it will subtract a d4 from its next saving throw.
Does
My
it
turn
have a
is not over.
psyche to be affected?
It says,
I'm interested.
it just says a creature. Does not
A creature.
specify anything else. I will use 2 sorcery points. It's the first time doing this. To use Quickened Spell. And I will make a bonus action to Ice Knife. I think I can do that because level 1 spell. And I'm going to make a ranged. Is that what I wanted to do? Yeah, ranged spell attack.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that. Oh no! It's an total 11.
That still hits.
It takes 1d10 piercing damage. 6 piercing damage. And I would like it to make a dexterity saving throw minus a d4. So first time sorcering.
Minus a d4.
Yes.
That is a grand total of 8.
Fails it. So now it is going to take, where I clicked away the spell, 2d6 cold damage.
Damn. You're
Which
OP.
is a total of 6.
Total of 6. Okay. So it is first of it psychically barraged by whatever kind of mental powers Rain is putting in there. And then you also fling this shard of ice right at it.
So I like make this horrifying kind of visage towards it, like extruding like all this power, and I'm like, you pissed me off, how dare you? And then in that heightened moment, I'm just going to send that coalesce water around me and send the ice sliver into it, and it explodes like jiggling into this massive jelly.
And you see that the shards, they cut off parts of this yellow, ochre colored mess. And some of the shards actually sink away in the ooze. And you can just see them like bubble away, the water mixing with the acid inside of it. And a little bit of the form of it shrinking as well with this barrage of magical power. Anything else on your turn, Miss Rain?
I glare at it for the rest of my turn.
You spent the rest of your turn glaring at it, which is a good way to end your turn, and brings us up to Rebus.
Okay, let's go. I'll try, because the gray ooze is right there. How did, does the ochre jelly look very intimidating or dangerous, or like it hasn't done much yet, right?
Now, from your current position, you can't really see the jelly. You do see that Rain has fired some magical ice at something, which
And Rain
was
is
very
also
close
looking
to you.
pretty beat up.
Yeah, and Rain is looking rough. But you can't see from your current position. You can't see the jelly.
Okay, well, I'll get rid of this gray ooze then, since it's right here. Or, I'll try. Since it's behind me, I'll just try and stab it with my tail.
Perfect. That's what tails are for.
Is it? I learned something.
Not with the natural one. They're not.
Ooh.
It's a 6.
you, a 6?
Total.
Well, it's what was a natural one anyway, so natural one misses anyway.
Yeah.
I guess it lives to tell the tale in that case.
Ow.
Psychic
Is there
damage.
is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
I guess. No, I'm just. Nah.
I'm just waiting for the day we are exploring somebody's
I look
house and
at-
we open up a closet, and it's like, oh no, this person has a hoard of tails.
No.
Like at this point, I know it's gonna be there. I'm just waiting for it.
Just like,
Someone
turn off my
should-
camera and just leave the room now.
It's just a hydra, It's a hydra with a lot of tails that's hoarding.
Please don't give me ideas.
Oh gosh.
But
I hope it happens. Anyway, I can't really do much unless I'm forgetting how to be a barbarian. But I haven't got the Twitch chat pulled up. So if anyone's suggesting
No,
anything, I'm not seeing it.
You're,
I'm sorry.
you're currently not forgetting how to be a barbarian.
Good. Then yeah, I can't really do much.
Sounds like a
will
show.
I will actually look at the the corridor that Rain is at, because I heard footsteps.
Yep.
And I heard her talk to someone. Do I see Typhoon or not at all?
You don't have dark vision,
Not
right?
really.
But you have the Everlight
No.
lantern. Probably
It's
still
there. It's in
dangling.
my backpack. Yeah.
Yeah, probably dangling at one end of your glaive.
Not
And
great for combat, but sure.
And I mean, at the edges of the light, if you look down the tunnel and you see Rain being pretty beat up, but you do see behind her there's a pretty tall shape in the shadow behind her.
Okay, I'll just say with a more monotonous voice than usual, even though Rebus is a pretty robotic voice, in her direction, just to make sure that she's aware. Rain, someone is behind you.
Why,
Just
yes?
in case she hadn't.
Yes.
Because I see her being hurt, and I don't want her to get a surprise attack from someone. But yeah,
Perfect. All right. That ends.
my wonderful turn.
That ends your turn, and that brings us then to Delphine.
I haven't seen that ochre jelly behind there because I'm probably not there. But I saw that Rain is something attacking there. The thing is, do I concentrate now on the gray ooze, or will my character be that smart to just say, okay, maybe there's a way that leads behind that thing?
You do you, girl.
You do you. You might, if you want to, you can go look around. If you want to do a good old
Roll
stealth route.
intelligence. See if it's a natural one.
Is Delphine
natural
smart
20,
smart enough?
Okay, if it goes above a 10, then she will be. It's +1. It's a 12. So yes. So, she is
We'll
not
give
that
her- we'll
smart,
give
but
her
she's
a-
not dumb. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take the dive and do I will walk. I probably go there. I will 10, 20, 30 would even be here. So I would cast, since I don't see shit from there, from this position, I will cast as a bonus action Expeditious Retreat. This gives me some more. Oh yeah, I can take the dash action without provoking anything. So that means I can move a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to go in? Now I should see it. Now the question is, should I run in front of it and stab it, or should I shoot it? But shooting it would be probably dumb because it could attract more oozes.
We're having fun so far.
Yeah, everyone, yeah. Oh,
There's
I'm
no-
picking too much.
Everyone is still alive.
Everyone is alive. Okay, I will take my rapier and run up to it and try to attack it to not make more noise.
Mm-hmm.
Steppy step, hopefully.
Stabby stab.
Stabby step.
Smitey smite.
The Fury of the Tides is still running. It's for 1 minute. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is actually good. I should get better lighting for my tray. This is a 22 with the rapier.
That hits.
And it hits, and this is... Where's my die? These are 12 points of
Piercing.
piercing and plus... Okay. The question is now it would be pushed away. It's already pretty large. Will it be slammed into that wall? Or not?
You can move even if it's like that much bigger. That's awesome.
Yep, there's no size restriction on Fury of the Tides.
Would
No,
it fit
it's-
through that small little
It's-
tunnel?
It's just the question if it would slam against something or not.
It
Can you imagine? It
Would
just gets
certainly-
stuck. Like it makes a plug on the tunnel, just like.
Yeah.
it would certainly get smashed against something. Yes.
Okay,
if
then
you-
it gets the +2 bludgeoning,
Okay.
which is a
So
lot of damage.
which means that there's, as you like come up from behind it, the form of it was still like you saw some of these pseudopods touching the walls behind it as it was about to pull itself through the opening, probably having its attention on Rain. But you sneak up from behind, you jump in there with your rapier, and still powered by your oath, the impact blasts the jelly forward, flings it over here, and as it is smashed against the wall, you see it falls into flop, flop, flop. Two. Oops, that was not what I wanted. Give me a new one.
Technical difficulties.
No, you should give me a new one. Well, then we do it like this.
Oh no, I heard it. Kitty cat.
It's coming closer.
Oh, what's happening there? What's happening? Who's
Kitty,
coming
kitty,
closer?
kitty, 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 kitty.
I don't know what you're
Come-
you're talking about.
Come to mama.
We're gonna do it
Kitty,
different.
kitty. You're good enough for me, remember?
Thou shall not flirt with my kitty cat.
He likes me a lot. Like,
Well,
really, eh?
apparently he doesn't. He doesn't like you enough to come in front of the camera to give you CATVANTAGE. Now, isn't that terrible?
Like he was following me out towards the apartment
What is this
entrance.
undertone in your voice?
Well, the cat was following me like out towards the apartment entrance. It's like, oh no, he's just doing that because that's the closet where this food is kept. I'm like, oh, we're way past that, honey.
All right. So as this mass of ochre jelly is flung against the wall, it breaks apart into these two smaller creatures that now start moving around with their pseudopods.
You just hear from the other side, like, this really disappointed. Oh, come on.
And anything else on your turn, Delphine?
Delphine.
No, I'm okay.
Delphine hit it so hard it changed colors.
Yeah. To quote a certain movie, you knocked the highlights out of her hair. And so
I recently saw that. I got that reference.
all right, Delphine, that's your turn.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Oh,
I see a
shit.
tail.
Who's
I see a tail. Oh, there's a cat.
Oh,
Hey.
Oh my god.
and he's right on time for Dythun. Oh, is there anyone who wants to spend some channel points for some CATVANTAGE? Is there anyone who can give it to someone? Just click the channel point button if you have the points, and then spend them and give them to the DM. Mwah.
Please don't.
It's Izzy, yes. It's Izzy gave it to the GM. Yes.
I support this.
Why?
I support this.
Izzy
Thank you
wants
very
to
much.
see us all die.
Thank you very
Why
much.
are you
I
so
support that.
mean?
Dythun, it's your turn. What would you like to do as you see Rain in front of
perfect.
you?
Oh, hey.
And you see Rain scowling.
I
what
think
would you like
that's
to do?
cheating. I think that's cheating.
Consider it as a player. Welcome back to the table.
Thank you. I do have a question. So, like, trying to maneuver around this map. This is where I am. Can I move through Rain?
You can move. Technically, on the map, it would be like moving through her. But since she's an ally, you
Okay.
could like move past her as long as you don't end your turn in her square.
Okay, I think I can go 5, 10, 15. I can stand there, right?
Yep. Right behind
Okay,
her.
20, 25, 30. Okay, I can get somewhere that can do something. That's good. Perfect. What do I want to do? I wonder.
Well, there's a variety of oozes in front of you who might want a little bit of, I don't know, some of your hospitality.
I mean, let's see. Should I attack or maybe possibly attack?
You can romance them.
I have an idea. Can I do that?
Go for it. I want to see Dyphon in action. It's been a while.
True.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna spend a superiority dice and do a fun new
Uh-huh.
thing I can do.
Ooh.
How do I? Oh no. Where did the rolling go? How do I roll? There it is. The button went away.
I see you remember everything perfectly.
The D&D Beyond app is a wonder right now. So I'm gonna spend a superiority dice and attack the grays in front of me with a distracting strike.
A distracting strike.
So no
Mhm.
advantage. Up to DM. It's been a while.
Let's see. I guess let's use the advantage. So
Yeah, you let's say,
That-
you know what? You can have this advantage because I'm gonna have some advantage myself on these next turns. So
I won't do that too often, but I'm like, just first roll back at the tape. I want
There
to
we go.
make it special.
How do I do this? Okay, so that's ignore the. I just rolled them all at once. For anyone looking at D&D Beyond. Okay, so the superiority dice was a 3, so I get to add. Battlemaster's weird. Hold on, I get to add that to the damage roll. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Not the attack roll.
And the creature
Okay.
must make a strength saving throw. No, wait, distracting
Oh, wait.
strike. Sorry. No.
This is distracting.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm distracting you. Don't
Plus
listen to
4.
me.
It's a 22 to hit. I know how to dungeon and dragon.
It's 22 to hit. That certainly hits. How much damage do we
Okay.
get from good old Dythun?
So it's gonna be a D8. What was the other one? Do I not get to see my own? I don't get to see my own roll history, apparently. I think it was a 3.
Yeah, it
All
was.
right, let's
Sounds
take a
right.
3.
Okay. So it's a D8 plus 2, so 5, 6, 7, 8 damage.
8 damage. And it also has... And the next attack...
So the next attack not by me has advantage against it.
Keep that in mind. That is
There we go.
useful. Perfect. Anything else on your turn as you bring down your weapon and like dig into that ooze in front of you?
I think that's it because I'm not gonna do any bonus actions right now.
Not right now?
No, I don't feel like wasting the roar on it right now. Actually, can I? I don't know if this would count as like needing an investigation check. Can I just do like a quick, like, can I look up?
What?
I have 60 feet of dark vision.
And I'm
I don't know,
assuming you're
like,
looking
just
up.
kinda...
I'm assuming you're looking up to see if you can spot any kind of other danger ahead over you.
Yeah, just kind of like turn to Rain and be like, there tends to be a lot of oozes together normally. I'm not sure how many you've already dealt with.
Well, without an action left to spend, you could like quickly look up in your turn, but you would like see the rocky kind of wet ceiling in the caverns here. And from this very quick glance, you don't spot anything immediately above you.
Okay, so
But that's
nothing
just
like
basically-
big and bright green.
Exactly. Like you don't see like something that has like an oddly different color or something. You look up, okay, it's a wet rocky ceiling, but it's basically just this really quick glancing up and then looking back at the target in front of you.
Oh heck, look at the chandelier.
Yeah, that's odd. So like I can see the ceiling if I want to investigate at some point.
Yeah, if you wanted to investigate, but
Okay.
if you really want to investigate, that would be your action on your turn.
Perfect. That's mainly what I wanted to do is just be like, can I see the ceiling? Okay, we're good.
Perfect.
So I think that's everything on my turn.
Awesome. That's a good way to come back. And now it is time for ooze clues, or I mean the ooze's turns. And we're going to see what they're going to do. We have the ooze up here that is close to Rebus, and that one is going to flubber over here and is going to try to attack with one of its pseudopods.
What sound does an ooze make?
We might find out, but that's a total of 16. Does that hit, Rebus?
I want to use my reaction to use my tail and maybe help me block the attack. So
What
I'll
does
explain.
the reaction do?
If a creature you can see within 10 feet of you hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to swipe your tail and roll a d8, applying a bonus to your AC equal to a number rolled, potentially causing the attack to miss you. My armor class is 15, so I just need like a 2 rolly.
Exactly.
D8, where is it? Here. rolled a 2, so my armor class is now 17, so it misses. I don't even look
Perfect.
back, just my tail kind of like behaves in some way like it has a mind of its own, because like who's to say where my neural center is anyway, and it like
Exactly.
swipes the gray ooze out of the way while I'm still
Which is,
keeping my eyes on
like,
the
you
one in front of me.
Yeah, and especially since you're not actually really actively thinking about doing that your tail is doing it on itself, it almost feels to you also as this is something that you must have done 100 times before, even though you don't have an active memory of that. But it just came so reflexively, so intuitively that your tail whips around, keeps away the ooze, and keeps you safe for now. Which does end that ooze's turn and brings us to one of the other oozes. The one right in front of you, Rebus, that you still keep eyes on, who is also going to try to lash out with a pseudopod, which is also a total of 16. How long does your
That
increased
does hit.
armor last? Is it
I
just
don't-
against one
I
attack?
think it's just the one attack is a reaction. So I used my reaction already. So
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So then you do take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, which you probably half because you're raging.
yes,
And
because this is why do I have things? I'm confused. I have advantage on strength. Oh, resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
true. Yes,
because
I
of your
had
rage.
forgotten that.
so you take only 3 damage
Yes,
of
yes,
that.
yes.
And however, you also take snake eyes. You take 2 points of acid damage. And you feel like
Okay.
as it's lashing out, you hear there's on the edges of your armor plating, there's this sizzling sound, this where you can see a little bit of steam coming off, where some of this liquid that's on the outside of the pseudopod has eaten into your plating. And you see that there's already a few little holes as the acid is eating its way in there.
I
That's
don't like the feel of that.
the second ooze's turn. That brings us to the third ooze, who is right in front of Dythun, and who is going to attack Dythun. And I'm going to use my CATVANTAGE on this one, Dythun.
Perfect.
Let's see.
Cat
what we
advantage
do.
to attack the cat.
You
I like it.
dead. Take it back now. You're gonna die. Take it back. Take it back.
Nope.
Oh God.
I'm prepared to die for this.
That is a total of 21.
Just misses. That's interesting.
Does it actually though? I'm
No,
worried about Dythun's.
No.
Yeah.
no, of course it hits.
I
I
would-
don't. You wear armor. I don't wear armor. I don't.
I have a dexterity of +0.
you
Of
take
course it hits.
you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage, and 11 points of acid damage.
Oh.
Okay,
Oof.
so I have a question.
Mhm.
Please ask.
Are you dead?
No.
Unconscious, is the word I'm
No. If I were to try and reduce that damage with a parry, would I be able to reduce the total damage or just the bludgeoning?
The parry is
It says when you're hit with a melee attack, you can use your reaction, expend a dice, reduce the damage by the number you roll.
I'd say you could pick to which kind, because we're rolling 2 different kinds of damage here. We're rolling the bludgeoning damage and the acid damage here.
Mhm.
If you use this, I would say you can pick which of the 2 you want to reduce.
Okay, because it's just like since I'm rolling a d8, I'm like, if I can only reduce 2 damage, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. No, I would say
So-
like you can either choose that you want to reduce the bludgeoning or the acid damage.
Yeah, I'll roll that and try to reduce the acid damage.
Perfect.
So now I go back to this page. The dice button is gone again. Why do you keep doing that? There it is. Love this app.
I'm next. Is Ray next? Just so I have what I want
Rain
to
is
do
next up. Yeah.
Gotcha.
it's,
I'll prepare my turn.
Okay, so that's a 7.
7. So we reduce 11 minus 7, and if math still works the way I think it does, that should be
6
uh,
total. With
Yes.
With bludgeoning and acid. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. 6
So
damage.
as you parry the blow and you lean out of the way of this acidic splash that was about to just go over you, there's still a few drops that land on your clothing, and especially whatever kind of leather or cloth you're wearing, you just see that there's immediately these big holes in them where the acid burns into them. But you are able to like lean out of the way of the brunt of the damage.
Nice.
That ends their creature's turn. That brings us to the end of the round. Back to the top of the round and back to our favorite Triton, Rain.
Hi.
And on deck is Rebus.
I'm going to I'm like literally just standing still while I see Dython just like get attacked, kind of parry the damage back. I nod in approval, and I just kind of saunter into the thick of it. I kind of crouch down, make a quick incantation, pull my hands backward, and I clap them, and I will cast Thunderclap. Each creature within 5 feet of me, so both oozes, not to Rebus or any of my friends, I would like them to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Haha, joke's on you. They're good with concentration, so this roll has to be good. It isn't. That was the first one. That was a 6.
Fails.
And that's a 10.
That fails.
Both of them fail. What happens?
They instantly disintegrate, and they take 1d6 thunder damage.
That's very OP. Like, I would not be surprised.
Oh,
Yep.
wait.
There
Is
is this
the-
resounding sound of just thunder heard 100 feet away, but the 2 oozes will each take 4 thunder damage.
Oh boy, if there were any other things. in
If
this
only
cavern,
we were in
they
a
sure know now
giant
that we're
cavernous space that echoes sound.
The gunshots
You-
already did the sound. I'm not the first.
No, you clap your hands together, and all of you can clearly, you're close enough to really feel the boom of this sound as it echoes in the tunnels. Rain, you see right in front of you, you see the oozes tremble and vibrate as the force of the thunderous blow like burns and blasts off some of their matter. They look significantly smaller at this point. They're still in front of you, and they still try to lash out for your precious organic matter.
Yeah.
You cannot have any of this precious organic matter. And I bonus action to Misty Step away. And I go to my preferred organic matter. Hi.
See, this is
Here,
one to
come
keep
here
in
often.
this is one to keep in mind for Valentine's Day. That's the card. Like, you're my preferred organic matter. That's super romantic. We'll get the message across.
Yes.
But I will stand
Totally
here
something
so
I'd
I can
say.
like still target both. But I'll just like a gray silvery cloud emerges from me and just like whoosh past the mist, and I materialize right next to Delphine, and I just kind of smile nicely at her, like
I think
smiling for approval.
Dython just like feels the thunder, is like, ow, looks back, is like, the hell did she go?
Action, bonus action, movement. I'm good. That is my turn.
Perfect. All right. Rebus, you're up. Delphine, you're on deck.
Let's do this. I'll try keep hitting. Like, I'll hit them with my glaive. Hopefully I'll hit the one, I'll turn around and like hit the one that I have behind that tried to hit me before. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Make an
Let's
attack roll.
see. Oh, it was almost an 18. It's a 10.
It's a total of 10.
Yeah.
That is still enough to hit. Oozes are not nimble. You can still hit
God.
them with a 10.
I was about to lose it. Okay, let's do this. I can't see. I rolled a 2 on that D10.
No.
Damage is damage.
So it's a 5 plus 2 for the rage, 7 points of damage.
7
Nice.
points of
Blasting.
damage is still 7 points of
There we go.
damage. And you still ferociously turn around and deal those 7 points of damage to the ooze.
Let's go. And all the shadows in the cave kind of move around as I whip around my glaive, and the lantern is still like hanging from the opposite side of it.
Perfect. Yeah, there's like this cool shadow play on the wall from it. Gotcha. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Delphine is up and Dythun is on deck.
Okay, on the matter thing, since I have this always in my room and it kind of fits, it's now not the right order. So, yeah, I don't have the time to concentrate on flirting, sadly. But I give her a wink.
There's always time for flirting. Flirting is a free action in D&D.
Yes. Yes.
But I will oh gosh, what do I do? I don't even know that Dyphon is there.
No, exactly.
See,
there
I
could-
didn't do the daunting roar, so I didn't announce myself.
So, but I just see this one smaller ooze there, and I know that Rebus must be somewhere there, and I just see probably a little bit of the second ooze. So I will take my pistol and try to shoot the one that I see the clearest.
All right.
And hopefully
Fire
I
away.
hit. At some point I need new bullets. Oh, this is pretty good. 23.
Yeah, that is.
And so tight. Oh yeah, the tight thing should still count as well. Sometimes I forget that I need d10s. This is not so good. These are 7 points of piercing damage, and then as it is pushed back 10 feet and slams into the wall, it takes 2 more bludgeoning.
And that ends the story of that ooze, as it is flung against the wall by the power of your oath, and still on the edges of your hearing, the echoes of your gunshot echoing in the distance.
And then I will run up to the other one and basically try to get his attention so that's not attacking Rebus.
Gotcha. And as you moving up there, you see out of the corner of your eyes, you startled for a moment, but then you look over and you see the Leonin form of Dythun standing there.
You killed my target.
Well, you're pretty late, so.
I was busy.
Is that your turn, Delphine?
Yeah.
Well, then we go directly to Dythun, and the oozes are on deck.
Okie dokie. Dythun's gonna move up and I guess attack the other gray ooze.
Perfect.
Let's see here. I wonder what I will attack with. I have so many options. I think I'll attack with my longsword. That's gonna another 22.
That hits.
Alrighty. Yay. 3 damage. Lovely.
You swing away with the longsword, shing, carving in there. The ooze trills and vibrates like a little bit of jello on a plate, but it still stands defiantly.
We're having the same luck today, huh?
Oh yeah. I don't have any good bonus actions right now. So I guess that's my turn.
That's your turn. All right. That brings us to the ooze behind Rebus, who is going to attack with its pseudopod, trying to see if this time it can come past the defense offered by the tail. That is a total of 21.
I don't know if it's worth it to try and deflect that. Yeah, but the other one is I'll do it because the other one is next to Delphine and Lythune, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
You wanna
I'll try it. I'll try it, with my
go ahead?
reaction.
Try and see if you can deflect
Roll.
it.
I rolled an 8! Yes!
That's an 8.
So-
Again.
Yeah, my AC would be a 23 now, so
Yeah. Again, your tail thwarts the attack of the ooze. And it is just like, as its pseudopod tries to slip past your defenses, your tail just whips around again and shoves it away. Then we have the other ooze who's still, whatever remains of it is still up, and it's going to try to attack Dythun.
I want to give my tail the same, puppet personality as Dr. Octopus's arms.
Yes.
His
Yes.
tentacle arms.
Yes.
That is what I'm imagining.
Dythun, the pseudopod of the gray ooze, rolls a total of 15. Does that hit?
No, and I actually can do something about that.
Oh no.
Because I have riposte as a superiority thing.
Man, you're really showing off your new funky toys.
Well, I figured, why not?
You've been absent for so long, you kind of have to.
Yeah. Make a grand entrance.
So I get to roll melee weapon against it, and then I can add a d8 to the damage.
Roll that attack.
So, oh no. That one. That one. But what a great app. That one.
You can do this.
I did it. I was almost a 16. Does a 10 hit?
It still does hit, yeah.
Okay, yes, good. So I'll just roll 2d8 for damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a total of 8 damage.
And with that, it struck its last blow, and in a riposte from you, you just carve deep into the remaining matter, and the rest of it goes lifeless on the ground. Which, technically speaking, death ends your turn, so its turn is ended. And
Nice.
which brings us back to the top of the round. We still got one ooze in the game, but Rain, it's your turn, and Rebus is on deck.
Rain is my turn. All right, so I guess I'm gonna have to. I've seen these oozes before, so I kind of know where
Oh,
they
yeah.
are. It's like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
let's saunter. 1, 2, 3. Do I
Is-
have a line of sight on the ooze behind Rebus?
Yeah, but Rebus would provide cover.
No worries.
Too close, I'm sorry.
Nope, but I'm going to just do something very simple. We're going to oh, can I do that? I haven't done this in a while. Oh, yeah. I will
Yeah.
cast a cantrip Frostbite. I just need to see it. I would like it to make a Constitution saving throw as I raise my hands up with frosty energy and I try to aim it at the creature.
I guess a 6 fails.
A 6 does fail. It's going to take 1d6 cold damage,
Ugh.
which is a total of 3. And because it failed, it will have disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
That's cold, Rain, but it's okay. Yeah, you do see actually there's like on the outside of the ooze, there's like this thin sheen of ice, and you see that its movement is like jagged and broken. Anything else on your turn?
How's the ooze looking?
Oily, dark, and it has like it's in a puddle of whatever kind of matter was on it. So there's a lot of it has already been chucked away, and it seems to be almost as if some of the pseudopods coming out of it are almost in frustration reaching out towards the tail that Rebus has, which, by the way, is the first time you see this tail, and you didn't know that your Warforged had this extra appendage.
That's new. And Irina's just going to like lean against the side of the wall and just kind of watch the show. That's my turn.
That's a turn. Talking about warforges with great tails, Rebus, it's your turn.
Let's do this.
Finish it.
Sorry, was the ooze looking like really bad?
It looks
or-
rough. It basically stands in a puddle of what once
Okay.
was on it. So it certainly had better days.
Just for flavor, I'm gonna try and stab it with the tail. Like, since I just whipped it out of the
Mhm.
way, like it'll just go back and kind of like stab it if I can. We'll see.
It's only one way to find out.
14. That should
14 hits.
Okay. Please roll decent. 9 plus 2, 11 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
Yeah. So, Rebus essentially crouches down as as I put the glaive on the floor. I crouch down to touch the floor with my other hand, and as I do this, the tail goes behind me and just impales it goes shing with the very shiny point of it, looking like obsidian glass, and it goes into the ooze. And as it goes out and like shakes off the extra slime, I'll just stand up and look around to see if there's any other menace that we might have to take care of. But for now, in a more human-like position again, just like with a
Yeah,
hand
you
on
basically straighten
my
your
weapon.
posture.
But the tail is still like,
You
behind.
You straighten your posture and you brought down the tail into the remains of the slime that just splatters around you. As you quickly glance around, seeing no other oozing threat coming close to you or your companions. And talking about your companions, as you look around, you also see that pulling his sword out of remains of another ooze, Daithun is now here as well in these tunnels, bathed in the light of your lantern. And basically all of you are here, the four of you, among puddles of oozing and sizzling remains of jellies that were trying to devour you. What would you like to do?
Rain does
Oh,
keep an eye on Rebus because on previous occasions after fights, Rebus had still seemed like he was battle ready or still aiming his thing. So I'm still leaning against the wall, but just kind of hand raised, like half-mindedly preparing to cast something if I see any force or strained movements from them.
So I'll turn towards Daithun. And as my rage subsides and my my visor opens up again and the normal like little two eyes come back on the screen, you can hear the little vertebrae of that make up the tail kind of like clink, 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 unfolding and getting back into the inside of my body. And for a moment, the rubbery insides of the tail look like they're turning back around me. But by the time they get into like what would be a menacing position, it just gets it recoils and it gets back into, because my body has stopped reversing to where it was, and it essentially gets tugged back into whatever compartment on my back it was. So there was some unexpected subconscious movement on there, but Rebus is more, or I am more concerned about Daithun. I have so many questions right now.
I will.
Was that last bit in character?
Yes.
Okay. Dythid will probably just like sheath his sword and be like, I mean, I have some questions too. Curious, what you're doing in these caves.
So I look at all of them like, can we do this question and answer round after we are out of this fucking cave? I don't want to have like a lot of more oozes just swarming us while we're having like a nice get together. You know?
Right, are you okay? I turned towards Rain, who I know looked, you know, in a bad condition. Just offer my help.
Ren will kind of take it to straighten herself up since she was using the back of the cave wall to support herself. It's like, as long as we don't meet any more of these, I'll be fine. I'd love to sit and have a chat as well with our old friend and have a hearty reunion. But I agree with Delphine.
Speaking of getting out of the caves, I think Dythun is gonna like look around at the ceiling again, like actually kind of taking a minute to make sure nothing's up there.
If you look up, and especially with the light coming from the lantern that Rebus has on their glaive, you look up, the ceiling isn't that high here, so you can easily look at the ceiling. Directly above of you, there's just rock and wetness. But you see out at the edges somewhere, you think you saw something skitter across the ceiling.
I think Dythun might kind of quietly say, I'm not entirely sure that we're actually alone still.
How we are not trying to find out, you know,
Perhaps
having
moving
something else to
targets
do.
is harder.
Oh. And I will take Rain basically around her shoulder, give her like 5 lay on hands invited, and drag her with me.
Thank you. That's better.
Is everyone starting to walk off in a direction yet?
DM, we knew where we were going, sort of, because the sapphire had pointed us in a direction.
Exactly.
So
yes.
if we can discern to continue that path, Rain would certainly encourage that path.
Absolutely. You can still use the sapphire as a kind of compass for that. So, and you would still know what kind of direction you were heading in.
So without reopening the box, I'd like to, if Rain does recall, continue that path. Just walk with purpose.
And Dythun, you were wanting to do something while everyone is walking off?
Well, I was gonna see if they're walking in the direction of the thing I saw skittering.
Fortunately, the skittering went into a different direction.
Okay, then I'm not gonna worry about it. We're good.
Perfect. Led by the sapphire and your general direction that you made out earlier, the 4 of you continue your journey past the puddles of ooze remains and further into the caverns. And that is a good point to take a little break for us now. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to be back here 30 minutes past the hour. So make sure to refill your drinks, get some snacks, cuddle your pets, and we'll see you in 10 minutes again. See you then. Welcome back, everyone. We had a little break. We're all refreshed, having drinks and everything. And Ida has a little bit of a package there, and she's just live unwrapping stuff. What are you unwrapping there?
The heck is that? Oh, it's a dice bag.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Is it Laura's dice bag?
Yeah, it's a gray one.
It is. That is not just a
That
bag.
looks wonderful.
That is.
Oh.
It's a bag of holding.
People can sleep in that. That is.
The lining is as pretty as they say. It has like all these gorgeous little like dice in the lining as well. Ah,
Is there now a live filling of the bag as well?
maybe next session. Maybe next session. Or
Yeah.
just show like donk, donk, donk. I need more dice.
Speaking of dice, I haven't rolled dice in 4 months, and I just found a
Where's my
dice on
head?
the floor, so I don't know where this came from.
Laura Bailey has continued to bless us all.
There are dice for everyone. We will all cherish the gifts. Very cool. Very nice dice back. Yes, please keep that on your head.
My neck.
Before we continue this adventure, just a quick little shout out that if you're tuned in here and like what you're seeing, first of all, thank you very much for tuning in here and also participating in chat. There's some nice conversations that have been happening throughout the first half. But if you'd like to continue the conversations or just want to know what we're doing, feel free to follow us on our socials or join our Discord, which you see below the stream. There's a little clicks to go there. Join us there. Or if you want to also follow us, subscribe us on Twitch if you like what you're seeing, because that's always nice. But in the end, we're already happy if you're tuning in and you're having fun watching us having fun. With that being said, let's continue our adventures in these dark, dark tunnels. Our heroes, now all 4 of them reunited again, Daithun having appeared in these tunnels, raising his sword and raising some questions. The party travels away from the site of the oozy battle, and you follow the directions of the sapphire further down into the tunnels. You get a bit away from the site of the battle, but you're certainly not out of the tunnels as of yet. The air in here still is cool. You can hear water dripping around you. But except for the lighting coming off of the lantern from Rebus, there's no other light here. And wherever you look, no other places where any outside light could be creeping into the darkness. The good news is that there seem to be no dangerous creatures, animals, or anyone following you at this point. So as you wander these tunnels, what would you like to do?
I would like to point out that the party was referred to as adventurers, and then once Daithun came back, they were referred to as heroes. So I just want to make mental note of that. That's all I'm doing right
You were
now.
the one who was absent for like 3 weeks now. I don't like. Who carried the adventure
Sorry, I
this
had
whole
to.
time?
I had to point it out. I had to point it out. It was too good.
You really are a cat.
Yes. Look, I've even been like growing my own mane. Okay. Like,
I guess Rebus will be leading the group just to offer a bit of light to wherever the path is going. Even though most of us have dark vision, I think.
Rain does.
I don't, but you know, more area to see, so we're not surprised by any more ooze.
how far does your light go?
60 feet of bright light and 120 of dim light, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you being in the front probably makes the most sense. Daithun will probably be be like the last one in line, just kind of making sure nothing comes up from behind us, and in case they do, you know, somebody that's not as squishy.
All right.
So, as for walking, Rebus would just say, not really looking back or anything, just talking out loud. So, Mr. Taifu, what are you doing here?
Yes, come here often.
Well, yes and no. Not these tunnels specifically, but I've actually been spending my time up here.
Wait, is this your home?
No, but I've been spending a lot of time in, this is me, it's Droam?
Draw yeah.
Droam, okay, I wasn't sure on the pronunciation of that. But yeah, I've been spending some time in Droam recently. I know some people there. If I'm being honest, I kind of got a little sidetracked and didn't realize how much time had passed. So sorry about that.
Wonderful. We have a guide. So good to have you back with us.
Yes, how all have you been? I see some of you have new appendages, which is interesting.
No comment.
You know, the normal stuff, taking jobs, nearly dying, carry on. Like, well, same like always.
Okay. Surviving an assassination attempt. I wouldn't call that normal, but fair.
Well, you know, for people in this line of work, that is more than normal.
I have a question. As Dauphine rightly pointed out, it would be really useful to have you with us in this mission. Would you like to come with us and help us, you know, take it to completion and therefore probably get part of the money that we will make? Or would you want to go back to your friends?
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to spend some time away from them.
One question, how did you ended up down here?
Oh, you know, I saw a
Walked
cave,
around, didn't find
got
your way back.
curious, walked in the cave. Honestly, there's not an exciting story to it.
And you happen to be right where we were on our way to what is supposedly a hidden and unknown location. The story couldn't write itself.
Exactly.
Well, I do hope that our guild handler will look kindly upon the extra help, but perhaps I should not be in the room when you persuade her of this fact. She and I don't seem to be friendly nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think she is very helpful. Thank you, Miss Ray.
I'll try to be a bit more selective in that usage. And at the very least, we found a beneficial use for it, haven't we, Rebus?
Looking to Wayne, looking to Rebus. Just nodding once and then carrying on.
As you wander on through these tunnels, you notice that the dimensions of the tunnels are very irregular. Sometimes you really have room that you could even walk like two persons next to each other. Sometimes you have to squeeze through some narrow passages, but all the time, whenever you would pick out the sapphire to see how it pulls you, you do notice that it does keep pulling you into a specific direction. Though there is not much else around here that would give any of you any indication if you're really coming closer to your destination. So you have a really hard time to determine how long you're going to spend in these tunnels, but at least you do have the sapphire to point into the right direction. As the party is venturing through the tunnels, is there anything specific any of you would like to do or would like to look out for? Anything to keep in mind while you're traveling?
I think Dython's occasionally gonna keep an eye on the ceiling, just to make sure we're not all walking under more oozes.
Good point.
If you're keeping an eye on the ceiling, Dython, you do look up, and there's a few things that you see on the ceiling. Sometimes there's like these pretty beautiful looking stalactites that are on the ceiling above you, and there's water drops falling off from the points of them. There is sometimes you see these long and covered in dark chitin millipedes crawling across the ceiling and into the whatever little openings are in the rocks so they can scurry out of the light cast by the lantern. But fortunately, you do not see any kind of oozes. There are no oozes, jellies, or cubes that seem to drop down, and not just on the ceiling, all around you as you're looking around. There's no kind of dangerous creatures, dangerous wildlife that might attack you or your party.
That's good.
Rain makes sure that her arm is still linked around Delphine since she offered her shoulder. She's gonna just kind of gallantly walk, very pleased with herself.
Right.
We was I turn a little bit to look at them and say, hey, I forget, do you happen to have a thing to fix, your wounds with, in case we were to come across any other challenges?
Pardon, to whom are you addressing this to?
Oh, but both Rain and Delphine, just, do you have the means to
I'm
heal
totally
yourselves?
untouched from the last.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I will take care of it if it's even necessary. So the oozes didn't even touch me, so I'm good.
We're nothing but resilient.
Okay. Well, Dython, I assume you want to know some details about our expedition?
Was that to me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed if you said Dython, but I assumed that. Yeah, it would make helping more effective if I knew what I was helping.
Right. I will proceed to, kind of make a summary of what the objective of the mission is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, while you're walking, Rebus, you give a quick rundown of the mission, finding a hidden valley, charging a magical crystal there. While doing that in the borderlands between two nations that have a bit of a tenuous situation going on, and not accidentally causing any kind of international incidents.
Well, to be
Dython.
fair, it's preferred that we do not. It is not explicitly part of the mission.
True. Dython, while you listen to the rundown from Rebus, could you give me a history check with advantage, please?
I can do that for sure. With a -1.
Well, mathematically,
Well,
advantage
see.
equals +5 on a roll, so you have
That's
only a
either a
-4.
3 or an 18. I'll take the 18.
I had a feeling you would. As you hear talking about it, like Rebus mentions, of course, that you're here on the border between Breland and Droam. And it's not your first time you hear about Droam. As you also mentioned to your party members, you have a bit of a thing going on in Droam, and you know the country. And you do also know that specifically in this area, in the Graywall Mountains, that the last time that you were in Droam and got some information, you heard some rumors that the leaders of the country, the daughters of Sorakel, this infamous trio of hags that have succeeded in uniting these various factions, they seem to have sent more troops into the Graywall Mountains, though the exact reason is a bit blurry, and you picked up various rumors about that. One rumor that you picked up is that they're actually planning on establishing a forward camp in the Graywall Mountains, so they have like a strategic position when they might have to attack the neighboring country of Breland. There are some rumors that these scouting troops are actually sent to look in the Graywall Mountains for deposits of Kyber dragon shards, which are very rare pieces of ore. And then there's also this, what you heard, which you really put together when Rebus mentions that you're going to look for a hidden valley, is that the daughters of Sorakel are actually looking to deal with a faction that has been working or is unwilling to align themselves with Droam, which is, from what you heard, a flight of harpies who were offered to join Droam, but have opposed Droam so far, but seem to have vanished somewhere in the Graywall Mountains. And the kind of word on the streets of the cities in Droam is that they seem to be hiding out in their own hidden valley that no one can find. And now you're here with your fellow adventurers, and they're also looking for hidden valleys.
So, just to clarify, we're currently in a cave within the Graywall Mountains.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure like that was where we actually were currently.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. I think Daithun, most of that information he would probably kind of keep to himself right now. Just because he's not sure what would be relevant, what would be kind of like a waste of mental capacity right now. So he'll probably just like take in the information of what's going on right now and just kind of push some of that like to the back of his mind and just keep it there for now.
Gotcha.
Also, I need to like make a sticky note of a really bad pun I just thought of, but isn't relevant right now, just to make sure it doesn't get forgotten later.
I see.
All right.
We'll be looking forward to it.
Eventually, as Rebus updates Daithun on your missions here, and you keep on walking for at least 2 hours, you at one point hear the sound of rushing water ahead of you, while Daithun raises his hand.
I will say, after learning kind of where they're going and what they're looking for, Daithun would ask, like, if the party was okay with Daithun being in the front with Rebus and, like, not being in the back. But I don't know who that leaves in the back, So Dythun's kind of like, tactically, it makes sense for him to be back there, but like, he wants to be in the front. So he'll just kind of take a poll with the party of that. If there's any objections to Dythun being up front.
Well, I
You do you.
certainly don't think it's the most strategic position, but we could change positions if you'd prefer.
As far as I care, you both can go in front. So
Are you in the back
Well-
simply because you believe I am incapable of keeping myself safe?
I wouldn't say incapable, I'd just say maybe I'm more capable of keeping myself safe.
Putting
That
ourselves first.
you know
also
that
advanced?
sounded really that sounded a lot more insulting than I meant it to.
No, I actually was about to compliment the genuine frankness of that statement. By all means, go in the front.
Right. All right. I'll stay up front with Rebus then.
I'll probably change positions with you then. I would like to keep an eye on the whatever might be following us.
All right. We
one
have a little bit of
question.
Delphine.
What kind of day would it be around? Like,
Like what part of the day? What time
Yeah.
of day it would be?
yeah, what do my bones tell me what kind of time of the day it is?
Nobody took keen
Um,
mind, right? No.
No,
Is
I
it a
don't
bonus
in-
day?
Is it a bones or no bones day?
Yeah.
No.
Someone tell
you,
us.
You do know at what kind of time of day you went into these tunnels. Which was, if I do recall correctly, you did have last session. You took a long rest in your shelter, and that means you left like early in the morning, got some looking around, and somewhere around in the afternoon you found the crevice. So
Well, technically, we didn't do a long rest in the shelter during that storm. We just waited it out.
right,
No, we did a
right,
short
yeah, but
rest.
you
Yeah, we
left
did a
like you
short
got
rest, yeah.
exactly. You did a short rest, but you waited the weather out, and like somewhere in the morning. Yes, right.
No. I was just thinking of
Mhm.
the other things. Go ahead.
And in the morning, once the weather was fine again, you set out to find the valley, which took you some time. You best guess you have at this point is it's in the afternoon. Would be outside, like later in the afternoon.
Would Dythun have any better idea of that, or?
Dythun, that is a good question, but
Because
actually,
I'm
you've
not
been
sure how long he's been
Yeah.
in the caves either. So
Actually, you've been in these caves for a while for your own feeling, because you at first got a little bit lost in the caves.
that
But
makes sense.
that would make it harder for you also to guess what time of day it is.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so
Just-
so since we didn't really sleep last night,
Yeah,
just
you
short
do got
resting.
yeah, you would at the that's a good point, by the way. You
Mhm.
would feel there's a little bit of, especially with the fight and everything. Yeah, there's a little bit of
Oh,
exhaustion
no.
setting into the
We
bones.
should have.
Hmm.
Shouldn't we rolled with disadvantage like everything?
No, that's ability checks. That's ability checks, not the attack rolls.
Only ability checks.
But we
I
haven't
was-
rolled
I
for
was-
exhaustion, so that's not a thing yet. But
Mhm.
regardless, if there's the sound of rushing water, there will be a bit of a spring in Rain's step as she sort of walk faster with or without Delphine's arm.
There is, if you to come indeed back to the sound of rushing water, you do hear the sound approaching, and as you take a turn, you see in a fairly large cavernous room ahead of you, now slowly illuminated by the light from Reba's lantern, there's this little stream of water rushing by that is fed by 3 little waterfalls, like these streams of water that come off from the wall, and it's this crystal clear, pristine water that runs through here, that just gently in a little stream runs through the room ahead of you.
Rain is gonna just go immediately up to that water.
You go up to the water.
Dyphane is waiting for it to be acidic.
You go into the water.
Or something is just waiting for you to like.
Rain
Yeah.
don't care.
Rain, you
Yep,
step in there,
we're gonna
it's
see.
water, and you already feel it's cold, it's wet, but it feels like home here in this cavernous area to
I
be in
will-
this water.
Just lean in and just dunk my whole head in.
I would like to point out that the water, the stream isn't really deep. Like, you can't put your whole head in there, but you can put your face in the stream easily. Like, just put your face in there.
I
Just
will
hide like a flamingo
like
or
to,
an ostrich.
shape water to create sort of a cube of water in front of me for me to submerge my head into.
Perfect. Delightful. Use your shape water to create this cube of water and just put your head in there.
Dyphane is just like, does she do that a lot?
You haven't been near the sea much in our travels. It's all been land.
Yeah, I just whispered to her. It's the first time she does this.
I don't quite know how to react.
You see her
Not
shoulders just go
safe.
up and down, her chest open and close.
And you actually see from the outside, as she has this cube of water around her head, you actually see, due to the water, there's this distortion of her face. You see like the face like wavy and a bit distorted as you look on from the outside.
It feels wonderful. Try it.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know about you, but this seems like a great place for like a camp.
What also makes this good, as Delphine says that, what it also makes this a good place for a camp next to having a supply of fresh water is, from what you can tell, from the light that the lantern gives, this cave also has only 2 entrances. The one that you came from and the one on the other side of the cave.
I agree. If everyone's feeling up to maybe spending some time here, strategically it makes sense.
By all means. As I release the water down, I just kind of sit at the edge, like contented, like
Yeah, seems to make sense. As I try to like put my glaive somewhere so I will stay with the lantern on top of it.
Yeah, you settle the lens in between a few rocks, and you can easily
Let's take a break.
make camp here and set up whatever bedrolls you have, whatever supplies, and set in for a nice bit of rest next to a gentle flowing stream.
You will see how Delphine puts her shoes off and then just sits on the edge of one of the streams and puts her feet into the water. Then just lays back, like really enjoying it.
Ah. Sorry about that.
enjoying the water flowing by your feet, and it is ice cold, the water.
Yeah, you'll
I mean-
notice Dyphane like steps over the water, like just avoiding touching it.
The cat. Just
Exactly, like no. Good.
What do you think? How
yeah,
far
then
away
I
are
guess
we?
we're taking a break.
If Rain pulls out the box holding the sapphire in it, and again, not fully opening it, but just taking a crack, can she discern how much brighter it is since they first entered? Because I assume the intensity has been shifting.
The intensity has been slowly increasing. There's been it's not like it's become a lot brighter, but you do notice a significant difference with how bright it was when you entered. But it going by the intensity of the light, you have been going in the right direction, and assuming from what you've seen so far, following whatever kind of pull or brightness the gem has been working out so far for you and should lead you further, but there's no indication on that how close you actually are to the target.
Hard to say, but we are going in the right direction at least. I mean, you I'm not always the most insightful person, but beyond our recent experiences on the mountains, do you have any other reason to dislike mountains? Are you related to mountains? Have they also tried to kill you in other ways?
Yeah, killing my feet, isn't it enough?
Since we established that,
My
everyone
cousin was a
related to
mountain
you hates you.
So, Dyphon, you're from around here.
Well, I've spent some time up here.
What is some time? Like a week, like a year, several years, half your life?
I visit Drome occasionally, less so during the wartime. But I've spent a few weeks up in Drome, and I've done some previous exploring of the mountains, but I wouldn't call myself an expert by any means, but I guess out of the four of us, I have the most experience. Maybe in total, I would say 2 years time spent in this area, roughly.
Anything of importance that we should know?
I mean, there's a lot more strange creatures that call this place home. Obviously, the oozes, slimes, and things like that. I mean, I'm not really sure how much you know about the struggle of the nations, but the neighboring nations are at war. So if you see somebody from Droam, tell them you align yourselves with Droam. If you see someone from Brayland, say that you ally yourself with Brayland. Simple survival techniques.
Huh. Are people so sensitive about such things? Are they so easily pleased by mere displays of tribalism?
No, but it helps.
Curious to see what their true thoughts on that method is.
Typhoon just remembered the whole talking in the head thing and being like, oh right. Rain does weird mind stuff.
Rain
then,
does weird mind stuff, TM.
I think Typhoon kind of just maybe just kind of sits there silent for a second, thinking I wonder if Rain's been reading my thoughts this whole time. Hopefully not.
Just
If
permanent fear.
do I catch like Dyson just like kind of staring at me wide-eyed? Like if are you hiding this, or are you like turning away to do this, or?
I think he'd probably, like, if they're having a conversation, maybe just kind of sit there silent for a second, not necessarily be like, oh god, like just kind of like, maybe like scratch his chin or something.
Dyson will hear in his mind, Copper for your thoughts.
Oh no.
I think he'd just kind of respond, I think they're worth more than that.
We'll talk again then once I'm paid after surviving this mission.
He just kind of nods and probably walks away a little bit, like
The connection
pretending to inspect some of the ceiling or something. Just being like, I'm gonna distance myself from this conversation now.
It's too
the,
much.
the telepathic connection is in this case closed.
As
By
you-
the way, Rebus, your transformation thingy and the tail thingy, that's creepy shit. Like,
Right,
really
you-
creepy shit.
You can see that Rebus has been this whole time, like, just putting the, things around that we will need for a camp. Like, maybe if we have a way to make a fire, or not a fire, but like to warm things up. Right now they're just sitting on the ground, kind of like looking at the acid damage on like one of their shoulders. And so they turn to you. I'm like, oh, right. Why is it creepy?
Isn't that obvious?
Delphine, we should not call things we do not
What?
understand creepy.
I mean, if they would appear in the night and wake me up in that form, I will totally freak out.
I thought it was pretty
I-
cool.
Promise I won't wake you up in this form unless completely necessary, Miss Delphine. I don't. I'm sorry it disturbed you. It was not my intention. I didn't really quite pretend to do that. I don't want to. I guess that's what my mechanisms were built for, and in the heat of battle, that was my most effective shape to take.
I'm not saying it wasn't effective. It was like really effective. It was just creepy.
I apologize. I'll try to keep it to a minimum then.
You should not apologize for things that make you unique and things that perhaps intimidate others. If anything, we should welcome them and add them to our strengths.
I'll have to think about this. I find so many aspects of organic society so confusing. You tend to contradict yourselves a lot.
That's not an incorrect assessment.
Yeah, kinda.
Somehow you still make sense. It's not a logic process I've ever used myself, but I'll try to get more familiar with it.
Familiarity is just fine. Understanding it, I haven't met a single person who's achieved that. And when you can't understand it, at the very least, manipulate it to your own benefit.
I splash water
At the beginning,
towards Rain's face.
I splash
beginning
it.
to think that's.
I splash it back with shape water.
Oh no! I form a tidal wave.
You see the tiniest tidal wave like unnaturally travel very long, but like maybe no more than like this big, goes and just crashes in front of Delphine, like.
Rain is the kid on the street with the coolest super soaker and brings that out for a water fight.
And as the water comes closer to her, I will have it swirl around Delphine, but the clearness of the water is just going to match like that deep blue of her hair as well. So I can do that with shape water.
That's true.
I have a little water show.
Another reason Typhoon is cautious of Rain. Just like, Rain likes water too much.
You, four of you
normal.
eventually settle in for
In my
for your long
culture,
rest,
this is weird.
making up your camp here in this quaint little cave. As you settle in for your long rest, is there any kind of watches or the likes that you would like to set out for the quotation marks night?
I mean, Typhoon would definitely suggest that.
I will take the middle watch.
The middle watch.
I'd like to talk about this with you, DM. I have something, a racial trait called centrist rest. Oh no, my headphones are running out of battery. Which essentially says when you take a long rest, you must spend at least 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state rather than sleeping. In this state, you appear inert, but it doesn't render you unconscious, and you can see and hear as normal, which would make me a very good watchman, I assume. And also, since I have the alert feat, I can't be surprised while conscious, and all, and you know, I can't creatures don't get advantage on attacks being unseen by me. So
Exactly.
I can just keep watch while I'm resting, and you guys can go to sleep, and it should be okay. At least enough for me to like get out of my rest and do something if necessary if I see anything.
Yeah, you can basically have Rebus in standby mode, being like just this inanimate piece of metal, motionless, sitting there, but still being very aware of their surroundings.
I think just out of habit and instinct, Dythun probably stays up for a couple hours. Just sort of like not necessarily not trusting Rebus, but just like unsure of how the sentry mode works. Just kind of observing for a few hours, also kind of keeping an eye out, and then eventually going to sleep.
Gotcha.
Kinda same, like totally trusting Rebus, but like having the habit of getting up in the middle of the
Yeah, I
night
mean,
anyway.
Like it also pops up on my constructed resilience that I don't need to sleep.
Yeah.
While I need to stay motionless, it, you know,
Yeah, but I
essentially
get
I
the
can't
feeling,
keep guard. So
I get the impression that the other characters that also want to spend at least a few hours watch, that it's more out of a habit, out of a kind of like, this is what we usually do.
yeah, just.
But you're
I just want
100%
to,
right, Sarah. You're right, Serial. Rebus could totally cover the entire long rest, guarding this place.
Okay.
And I would then assume, Rebus, that at a certain point you settle into your sentry's rest. You basically would sit down and slowly just become completely rigid and just keep perceiving, but for the rest being completely still as you settle into your, watch. Delphine and Dythun, you both also at various points throughout the night spend some time. Rain, you're just gonna sleep, or do you feel safe with the rest of the party keeping watch, or do you also want to do some watching?
Rain remarks that, like, well, the last time we needed to do particular chores, things while making encampment, this was a matter, and now it is not. This outdoor situation is very foreign to me. Let me know if I'm needed. Good night.
All
And
right.
I will sleep. Yeah, unless specifically woken for watch, Rain sleeps.
All right. As rain settles in, for the long rest, could I get perception checks from Rebus, Delphine, and from Daithun?
Perception? That's the one I'm kind of good at. I say rolling a 3. That's a 7 from Daithun.
14 for Rebus.
21.
21 for
Nice.
Delphine. All right. Daithun, as at the start of the long rest, Rain settles into sleep, and Delphine catches a little bit of shut eye, while Rebus is also in this completely still state. You keep an eye out for things, and
I
except
will
for
say, understandably, Daithun would be distracted with the idea of thinking of like wanting to just go over and like poke Rebus and see what happens, and like fighting that instinct. And so I think that's a good
Just
way to like,
do like a cat. Just do the
yeah, just like the boop, boop. But like that would explain the 7. Like
Wait.
that's where his mind's preoccupied.
which does raise a fair point. Daithun, considering your background, except for Rebus, have you encountered or even fought other warforged?
I think it's reasonable to think Daithun, not necessarily like part of the troops he would normally fight with, but definitely like in other groups, or possibly even like as enemies. I think it would be reasonable that he would have encountered Warforged before.
Gotcha.
Probably, I mean, you know, more than a handful of times.
Gotcha. Yeah, so one thing that you would know is like, you would be familiar with this kind of state that Warforged can go in. You would have heard also about certain battle tactics from other squads and caterers that you worked with, that there were attempts to like maybe ambush Warforged teams while they were in this mode, just to learn that they're still very aware of their surroundings when doing this, which was an enormous advantage on the battlefield. So while you're pondering and being very tempted to like just boop the Warforged snoot,
exactly, because Rebus is also that like anomaly of like, I never saw Warforged grow a tail.
Exactly.
Like, I wonder how this one's different.
And that is the thing that keeps you a bit distracted throughout your part, your contribution to the watch. But there is you're not aware of any other
points page.
You're not aware of any kind of other threats that might be going on. And you eventually, as you feel that also for you exhaustion starts creeping into your eyes and into your bones, you just stand there next to Rebus. And what's your decision? Are you gonna boop or are you not gonna boop?
I think he's gonna wait till a later time. Like he's definitely one night, but not right now.
All right. For now, the booping will not be
Soon.
done, and you curl up on your bedroll.
Mhm.
As Rebus, you have been fully aware of
Yep.
Daithun just looking at you, wandering around, like maybe sometimes very hesitantly moving a hand or something, but you're just sitting there, idle, perceiving.
I just, I make a mental note of
I think that's the universal sign for a mental note, and the
The universal sign of headphones are dying.
exactly. That's exact.
Oh no.
I think the microphone is also not picking this up. Serial.
Mm-hmm.
Typey, typey.
It should work now.
Yes, it
Yay!
does.
Ah.
Yay.
Perfect. But now it's muted again. But you're just muting it in between. Okay, that's fine. You take a mental note of this as you also continue your watchful sentry, and later in the long rest, Delphine, you wake up feeling a little bit, feeling the urge to also keep an eye out for things. Like you don't just want to sleep through the whole long rest. And you see Daithun is already asleep, Rain is still asleep. Yes, Rain.
I will say that Rain has shed off her outermost clothing, so just in her underwear, and she is sleeping in the water, submerged.
Sleeping in the water.
Lying
Perfect.
down.
Like fully immersed
Yep.
in the water.
I
and
imagine that lying down is just enough to cover, but
absolutely. If you, especially when you take off your clothing and just try to go really into the water, that would like just give you a bit of a layer over your face so that you're completely submerged.
that's all.
Perfect. And Delphine, you see that Rain is sleeping in the water, and you also see still completely inanimate Rebus just sitting there.
I
And-
just noticed something. I needed to reroll since I
Mhm.
have exhaustion still.
Correct?
So make the 21 to a 13.
A 13. All right. You look around for a bit, and you also, the only thing you notice is the rushing water, the whatever kind of water is dripping from the ceiling, and you do spot that there's a few bats flying out of the cavern at one point. And you, for the rest, you don't perceive any kind of threats or dangers. Is there anything else you would like to do while you're awake?
Well, it's one of her habits, so during the watch, she will just fill up her pipe and then smoke, like, during that.
Fill up your pipe, smoke a little bit, and
So
just
the fancy thing about that pipe is the pipe of remembrance. So it shows for 5 minutes like something out of the past.
and what does it show while you're smoking?
So no, for 10 minutes actually. No, after 10 minutes for 5 minutes. Yeah, this shit is like not that important. So and it actually shows like one morning on the ship she had been on for most of her life, and where just the sun went up, and it was like probably one of the most peaceful days that she ever had. So like seeing in that image that there are like two people are walking up like in a greeting manner and going to their works.
Just a really nice memory that
Mhm.
you're picking up there and that you're seeing right in front of you as you're enjoying your pipe, the quiet and just the natural sounds around you. And you enjoy this moment out here, being able to draw on that memory. Does it make you miss the sea, the ocean?
Yeah.
Mountains and caves, they can be this complete opposite of the roiling sea out there on the waves. But who knows? Maybe when you're done with this, maybe your next job takes you back to the seas. Maybe your next job takes you to wherever that bastard of a Darien is, and you can talk out some things. Maybe,
Talk.
and you start thinking about those things. And then, and Rebus, you also pick this up. As you're smoking there, you see on the other edge of the stream that Rain is lying in, completely submerged. You see, hunched down is this goblin, leather armor, 2 swords on his back, and this mohawk hair on top of his head. And you see him like putting one hand to the hilts of one of his swords on his back, while still sneaking closer to Rain.
So, how many hours have passed? How many hours have I rested?
At this point, this is really towards the end of the long rest. So we could say that at this point you would have considered to have completed the long rest.
All of us then.
All of you, yeah.
Pressing the button.
I will just pull out my pistol and point it at that person. Don't dare you just going one step more.
And he just looks up, completely surprised that you've spotted him at this point. You point the pistol at him,
Yes.
and you can hear him curse, like with quite an accent. He just says in common, "Fuck," and the goblin tries to run away. Is there anything you would like to do?
I will throw my, like, with a really swift movement and go from like the complete stillness that I've been in for the past like 6 hours to suddenly grab my light hammer and just like throw it at him.
Throw the hammer at the goblin?
Yeah.
Give me an attack roll.
To 13. If Sariel cut out for that.
I think it was a 13.
Oh my god, it
Yeah,
didn't
13.
let me unmute myself. I don't know why. It's just a 13 to hit, so I don't think.
A 13. You throw the hammer and it goes dong against the wall as the goblin tries to get further away. He's still within range of any kind of ranged things that you might want to do. Delphine, is there anything you would like to do?
Oh yeah, I will probably get up the fastest I can and run behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Would like to catch up to him, and since I could use the expeditious retreat, I can. I mean, yeah, if I use this, I have extra movement speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, if you tick off a spell slot for that, you can use your expeditious retreat.
If I dash, it's doubling my speed.
Yeah,
But it
you
also takes
basically.
your action.
So could I catch up with him?
Yeah, you could.
No, I will not do this because I need my action to catch him. To
Mhm.
basically throw him down the ground.
Yeah.
Can I slam him?
Like, you just want to like run into him and like tackle him down to the ground?
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
my character is larger than him, so
You can certainly try. You can like start running after him. But
Yeah.
if you go and try to tackle him down, give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
acrobatics. Okay, let's see. So exhaustion should be gone. So
Yeah, it's gone. You got the long rest.
Oh, I need CATVANTAGE here. There's none. Oh,
But I think the cat.
this is a 26. I rolled a net 20.
Nice. He got a total of 20. So I was worried there for a moment, but wow, nice. You run after the goblin, who's like at that point, he cursed in common for one word, but as he's running away and you close up on him, you can hear him curse in another language, and he looks over his shoulder, and you just leap on him, tackle him down to the ground, get your hooks in to really hold him tight to you, and he's just squirming against it, and then just goes like in common, like, no, let go.
Would this by any chance wake the rest of us up?
At this point, especially when you hear like the kerfuffle and the screaming echoing from the goblin, yeah, you wake up.
Ah, wonderful.
Rain will sit up soaking wet and just turn her head towards the goblin, like,
Dythane would immediately like run over next to wherever Delphine is. Maybe just like pulling out like his hand axe or something.
Yeah. This goblin is now held by Delphine, and he's struggling, and he sees you approach, Dythune. He looks up and he's struggling, going like, no, and he sees you approach, and he sees the form of you, your mane, your broad frame, looking down over him, and he's just scowls at you.
Oh, sweetie, you don't know what you broke yourself into.
And as you say that, Delphine, that's a great line to end this session on today, as you have the goblin captive, and we see whatever this goblin might have to tell you in the next session.
Damn it.
All right, cool. All right, great session, everyone. Good to have you back, Austin. There was a lot of good energy in this session, and we had a good fight. We had some traveling. We had some goblins that now have been captured, and I'm curious to see how this will continue next week, because we will be back next week here on Tuesday. But before we leave everyone, and we'll leave you for tonight, is there any kind of projects or announcements you would like to make before we head out for today?
I have a print shop. I will restock some of the prints on the 15th of this month, as soon as I get back home, because I'm still visiting my family. But you know, there's not much, but there are some prints there if you want like a small gift for somebody, and I will be adding more stuff as soon as I have more stuff. And it's an Etsy shop. If you look for Serial Snow Wings on Etsy, you should find it.
I've just shared the link in the chat for the Etsy shop. So if you like Serial style and you want to get some prints yourself, check out the Etsy shop.
Also, if you,
I suggest you do.
Sorry. Oh, thanks. I didn't hear. Yeah, I just want to say, if you know someone who needs an illustrator for like a video game or a book or a story or a comic or something, let me know. I am looking for work for this year. I already have some projects for the first couple months, but always happy to hear about it. So yeah, that's that, I guess.
Very cool. Great. And don't forget, if you want to check out on Serial stuff, their handle is right here on the screen, @SerialSnowings for Twitter. And you can always find their stuff there. Anything else going on with anyone?
This is all I've got going on, other than trying not to be sick.
you're doing a good job at it. Like since you're back and like you're with us and you have energy to have fun. It's been good
Oh
to
yeah,
have you back.
it's
I also
good to be back. I've missed this very much.
Mm.
I want to
Very
thank.
good.
We had some new people in the chat joining us. I hope you are a more regular, frequent member of our community. It's been fun having you in chats. Always sort of a lively chat. Um, for me, I did change my Twitter handle. I think I mentioned this at the early part of the show. If you were already following me, I don't really post that much stuff. But if you follow me, it automatically changes. But just in case, that's me. And we have a YouTube channel. It is linked below the screen, where yes, you can find the VODs here on Twitch, but we also upload this to our YouTube channel, and there are timestamped. And I make sure that there are lovely, snarky, and funny timestamp titles always there, and they appear time during the week before the session is live. It would really do us a solid if you subscribe to us there, because the more subscribers they get, the less time we have to spend as
Yeah,
youtube.com/9WT6K43 whatever.
we need to reach 100 subscribers, then we can change the URL. So this will help a lot, and in the end, if you haven't watched any of our stuff yet, there's a lot to catch up to, like a lot, and also a lot of talks, and yeah, and also like this show that is lovely moderated by Ada. So
I'd like to point out I'm being a bad person, and apparently I was not subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Well,
shame
Somehow.
on you.
now that you have subscribed, you are a good person.
Welcome to the
That's
family.
Sean the
Um,
non-believer.
Join me in being a good person and subscribe.
One of us. One question: how about we are rating someone?
Can we go? Do you have a suggestion? Do we have someone to rate? Do
I
we have
mean,
someone to
Check These Out is live right now.
our British?
They are doing D&D as well.
They have some more D&D, and they have some fun D&D on there. They do a lot of D&D. So how about we get ourselves over there? Caro, can you make the
I'm
arrangements for that?
already on it. Yes.
Perfect. Before we get rated, before we rate, thanks everyone for joining this week. We'll be back next week, and if you want to hang out with us, check our Twitter, check our Discord, follow and subscribe here on Twitch, and we hope to see you back next week. Thank you once again very much for watching.
Next week.
Thank you.
Time to
Until next
rate.
week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.